Alright, so as you guys see by the title, I'm going to be giving you guys the 5 stages of reselling fully explained. This is something I would have begged for when I very first started, just to get the ins and outs of exactly what's going to happen in my journey, when it's going to happen, how you can get through it, how other people got through it. I actually took a long time to write this video out because it's every single stage, back and forth. I've taught a lot of different people. I've been in the game for a long time myself, so I know everything about reselling you can think of. Most people's journeys end up going the same from when they very first start to when they very first end. If you do have a lot of capital, you could easily just sell vendor links and act like you've sold before, or you could easily get bulk and just skip the whole process. But make sure you guys do stick to the end, because the last thing I'm going to tell you is going to change your whole perspective on reselling. So let's talk about the starter stage, the most annoying, stressful, and tiring stage that you can even go through. And the reason it's the worst stage is because you're going to be losing a whole lot of money. You're not going to know where to go, what to do. You're going to be very lost while still getting on your phone and being able to see people in nice ass cars, or people buying houses off reselling. Like, you'll see thousands of resellers all over social media having different results, selling different products on different marketplaces, saying that this works, I promise you this works. Now, the one thing I would say most resellers have in common that are on social media is they make a whole lot of videos and they sell a whole lot of vendor links of AirPods and cologne. So 9 times out of 10, you're gonna start with AirPods or cologne, because that's one of the things that's like, clothing you always see changing. You always see clothing changing, whether it's going from baked tees to awful lot of cough syrup. Before it was like spider, denim tears. It went to go yard. It was like a lot of different things. But the one thing that doesn't change that much will be cologne and AirPods. So that's what most resellers will market, and that's why most resellers start with that. Even me personally, I started with AirPods. So this is when you actually dive straight into reselling, and 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get scammed. Whether it's buying off a reseller and you never get the vendor link, or you do get the vendor link and you get scammed by the vendor, whether it's shit quality, they don't send it, or it's terrible prices so you can't get a high profit margin. Now, this is where such a high percent of people actually quit. I don't really blame them, to be honest. It's one of the most stressful things to see all these people make money. You try off the person, you see him generating results in his Discord or doing this or doing that, and then you buy off him and you get scammed. A lot of people end up quitting. Alright, y'all, we switched locations for the simple fact that I've been waiting for it to not be so windy. Might be a little bit echoey, but I do have a lot of value to drop, so make sure you do stay to the end. Now, how this normally ends up going if you actually don't get scammed for a vendor is you're gonna end up buying a terrible product that everyone's talking about, and they're saying it's doing good, they're showing results of it selling and everything like that. But the one thing that you have to understand is, in a beginner's mindset, you'll never understand that a lot of these resellers, or not even a lot, but most resellers, if not all, they sell a product for 1 to 2 months, they give it to their students, everyone in their mentorship, everything like that, and then they release it to the public. So they've been selling this product for 1 to 2 months, but now they're just releasing it to you. And when you see this and you see maybe Go Yard's going crazy, or an LV bag is going crazy, it's really been going crazy. So now when you try to go sell it, it's already being sold for dirt cheap on marketplaces like Depop, eBay, Mercari. These are marketplaces where products die so fast. Within like 2 to 3 weeks, products can go through the floor. So you're most likely going to end up buying a terrible product that's oversaturated. And here's another part where a huge amount of resellers quit, and you're going to struggle so much, but if you can make it through that beginner stage, that's when you start to unlock new capabilities and new income, and actually unlocking that lifestyle that you started reselling for in the first place. Now, what's going to happen when you actually buy that terrible product that is oversaturated? Either you're going to end up having to sell that product for what you got it for, or less than you got it for. Now, I can't tell you how many times this happened to me at the beginning of my stage, bro. It was like the most annoyingest, weirdest thing ever, because you see everybody talking about good results with it, and you have no idea they're showing results from 1 to 2 weeks ago. It's like you're getting the shitty end of the stick. You're making no money. In fact, you're going negative off a product that somebody else made tens of thousands of dollars off. So by the time you get to it, they're on a whole new trend that they're going to do the exact same thing with. But like I said, in a beginner's mindset, you'll never understand this, and it's going to tear you down and think that you're doing something very wrong when the whole time you're doing everything right. It's just that one thing that's kept behind the scenes that you would never understand. Let's talk about stage 2. Now, when you're on stage 2, you don't have to deal with any of those issues of being way too late for trends, dealing with bad quality, getting scammed, getting your listings removed because you have no idea how to list up products. You don't have to deal with any of those issues. You skipped that whole big thing. But now on stage 2, you have a whole new set of issues. You know exactly how to catch up to a product when it's doing good, but you don't understand the duration of product. So for example, say you buy 20 to 30 different purple jeans and they all sell within a week or two. Now you take all that profit and put it right back into purple jeans because they did so well, and none of them end up selling. Not a single one. Or you end up having to sell it for that same price that you got it for. Now this is one of the trickiest parts, because you'll make a whole lot of money off of one product and you'll put all that money back into it and it just fucking flops, and it makes no sense, because how can a product die that fast? Or did it even die, or is it just me fucking up? And understanding understanding that there even is durations of products is one of the biggest things that take resellers months and months and months to actually deal with, because they just spent a lot of money on product that they thought they were going to get back within the same week or two. And instead, they most likely go negative or they break even. And it's insane, bro. Just when you think you're doing everything right, you're actually stacking profits. And that very first go around, like I said, say you bought 20 to 30 purple jeans and you sold all of them. You're going to be feeling like, oh my gosh, I can actually sell. I'm actually breaking free. And then you go for that second go around and it just drains your account. This is exactly when you get another stage where a lot of people quit. They make it through that first stage of going through so much trial and error, and they're like, bro, all right, bro, if I keep going through shit, I'm just going to give up, because they said it was a beginner-friendly income and it's treating me terrible. And that ends up happening, and it would really take the dog out of somebody to keep going with this income that just keeps fucking you up. Like I said, stage 2 is crazy. You get past the first set of problems and now you're on to a new set of problems. If you do make it through this teaches you the most valuable skill in reselling on actually analyzing products, learning how to put your eggs in different baskets, and staying up to date with products. And you really learn how to analyze marketplaces to see, okay, this many is being sold this day or this week. And just like every single product, the price is gonna go down. It's guaranteed to go down on any product that blows up at any time. So you know that's gonna happen. So that initial risk is gonna be way bigger, because you know, okay, this is when it's actually doing good, so I can spend a lot of money here and fully sell out. And then the next time I'm only gonna throw a little bit of money in there because I know how much it's being valued at. So as the price goes down, you can see, okay, how many is being sold today? What's the price they're being sold at? And you start to learn what you're comfortable with. So for example, say something's being sold at $500, but within 2 to 4 weeks, the price drops all the way down to normally being sold at $120, but you only get the product for 50 or 60, maybe 70. You start to learn whether you're a person who wants to sell a bunch of these products and that's how you stack your profit, or you'd switch to products that are selling for way higher and you have to sell less of them to actually get that same amount of profit. But like I said, as a beginner, you'd have no idea about any of this. You're just thinking, oh, you buy the product, you go sell it, you get your profit, and you do it again. The second stage was very big in my career, and it was something I'll remember forever because it really taught me how to pivot and not get addicted to selling a product. Because it got to a point where I loved designer belts and designer bags, so that's something that I would genuinely sell a lot. They did good for a while, like longer than a lot of products will. Really just tried to stick with it for so long. I was like, okay, well, I've done it good this time, so I just have to figure out what I was doing to actually sell those products and not just do it again. Not even understanding, bro. The markets are going to change, the markets are going to move right past you, and you have to stay up to date with it. And what ended up happening to me was I bought 30 Louis Vuitton belts and I sold every single one of them. So then the next time I came back and I got 50 of them, and literally only 2 of them sold for the price I wanted them to sell at, and I ended up having to sell the rest of them for fucking dirt cheap, and I ended up losing a lot of fucking money. But it was the best lesson I ever went through, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm so glad that happened, because in any business model I go to, I can take that skill into anything. Just learning how to adapt, learning how to pivot. If something goes very fucking wrong, you need to very quickly learn what you're gonna do next, when you're gonna do it, how you're gonna do it, how much it's gonna cost, where you're gonna do it. And the skill to pivot and adapt is something that is very valuable. Like, you're either gonna pay somebody a lot of fucking money for it and they'll teach you step by step how to do it, or you're gonna have to go through it yourself, which is a very big headache and a huge setback. Now let's talk about stage 3. That's hard to tell when it's gonna happen. Some people it happens in their 2nd month, some people it happens in their 6th month, some people it happens in their 7th month. So now you know everything from stage 1, and from stage 2 you know exactly how to adapt and pivot with products. And with you selling through that much products through stage 1 and stage 2, you should have a good idea on what you need to be pricing your stuff at, what's too high, what's too low, how much profit you want per sale, so that way you can easily filter it down to what products you want to sell and what products you don't want to sell. This is the stage where you're not just getting fucking wrecked, like laid out every single time you try to sell some shit. It goes super good and then it goes fucking terrible. So I know what you're thinking, the stage where you can just make money and not have to deal with any issues because you basically learned everything. Now it depends what your goals are with reselling, but if you're watching this video and you're a beginner, I promise you 5 to 10k sounds very good, sweet. That's probably what you're working towards. You can't fucking wait to get there. But when you do get there, the standard raises very quick. When you do make that amount, that's just gonna show you how much you can actually make. And I've never seen a reseller's mindset just, okay, I'm finally here, you know, I'm just gonna let it go on autopilot. 9 times out of 10, when resellers make that amount, the way that they think is, okay, now I can go do this times 10, times 100. And this is when a new problem arises. Depending on what your goals is, like I said, you end up hitting a ceiling. And what ends up happening is different people have different ceilings, different people have different limits to what they can make, but you end up hitting a limit. Some people sell so many clothes, or some people sell so many shoes. Your limit might be 2 to 3K. Your limit might be 3 to 5K. Your limit might be 5 to 10K. Because you can physically only sell so many shoes or so many pants or so many shirts every single month. You can only do so many meetups. You can only ship so many packages. Because when you order off a vendor, and if it's clothing or shoes, it's going to take at least 1 to 2 weeks, and that's minimum. So you can only do that so many times a month. So you're going to have this sweet spot for around a month or two. And I would say the highest I've probably seen it is like 12 to 13K. What ends up happening is you're not good with that. You know, you just want to push to the next boundary, especially if you start living above your means, which most resellers end up doing. They either buy a car, they either go house, they either buy hella designers, start buying real designers, they start going out to eat expensive. And this is like torture, bro. You're going to be selling such a high amount of product, but you physically cannot raise that ceiling. Now, I know it might not make sense, like, why can I not sell more product? But if you've been in this stage, you know exactly what I'm talking about, where you have to wait for your vendor. You can't physically post the same product up too many times. There's a chance of getting banned. People won't buy because it looks like a spam. And there's not a product that does good on every single marketplace. You're only going to get that sweet spot with maybe 3 marketplaces. And you have to add on the fact that, like I said before, these products die fast. So when you're having to keep switching through products month after month after month, and you get a good sweet spot, someone's going to catch on to that sweet spot looking up every single brand. They're going to catch on to it. And then what they're going to do is go expose it. They have a lot of followers, and now everyone knows about it. And when everyone starts selling it, the product just goes down and down and down in price. And I've seen resellers stay in the stage for a long ass time where they try anything and everything in the book of reselling. And every single time they end up coming to one of these answers. Which brings me to stage 4, when you actually unlock not having a limit. You can make as much money as you want. Those 2 answers that I was talking about is social media and high ticket reselling. Now with high ticket reselling, you're grabbing a product that goes for anywhere from $600 to over $1,000 as the real one, and you're buying it for low as fuck. So that's when you're making anything over $300 per sale. Now a high ticket product might be something like Louis Vuitton jeans, Chrome Heart jeans, Balenciaga jeans, this Chrome Heart outfit I have right here. Maybe some designer shoes, a bust down watch. Now bust down watches have been going down the drain lately due to the fact that so many resellers are getting on it now. But resellers like me and other big resellers were telling their communities about this shit a long ass time ago before it ever got big on social media. And social media always fucks things up because one big reseller figures out about it, and then hundreds of thousands of people behind him end up buying the vendor and just doing it, and then it goes to the floor. But you get the point in high ticket reselling. You're not getting anywhere from $30 to $150 maybe profit per sale. You're hitting high ass amounts. So when you do what you normally do, you get this product, you already know exactly where you're going to market it, how much you're going to sell it for, but you're doing it with this level of a product. Well, now when you are capping out at selling 1 to 200 products a month, or wherever you were capped out at, now that automatically shoots to the sky, and you're still putting in the same amount of effort. You only have to sell those 100 products that you were selling before. Now, I'm not saying 100 products for everybody, because obviously everybody caps out at different numbers, but you're putting in the same amount of effort, but you're making way more money with high ticket reselling. You're most likely going to get into social media. This is where a whole new level of money unlocks. You're marketing to 10 times the amount of people. People are actually seeing your face, so they're getting to know you, your brand, and they're trusting you for who you are. When you're doing high ticket reselling with this right here, there's literally no limit to it. The better videos you make, the more customers you have, the more followers you get, the bigger deals vendors are going to give you, so you can actually market them and they can get more sales. So now you're getting more profit per sale with high ticket reselling. And you just keep unlocking and unlocking and unlocking and unlocking new levels of making money with reselling. And that's when you get to a point where you're hiring team members to run different things for you, and you're sitting back at a place like this collecting money, making videos like this. Now, I've wanted to drop a video like this for a long time. I didn't know exactly what to call it or what I was going to talk about. I just knew it was going to be something about the different stages you go through, because I've never seen an actual reseller. I'm not talking about people who already had money, then they got online, said they were a reseller, just sold vendor links. People who actually resold, I've never seen them not go through these stages. So I had to make this video because I know if you're watching this, you're either at the beginner stage and you're about to go through this, or you're on one of these stages and you can learn a lot from this video. So I hope if you're watching this, you actually learned a lot from this video, and you know exactly what's coming up next in your career and exactly how you can dodge it. And like always, it's no sales, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.